The Special Activities Division, or SAD for short, is a special division that falls under the Central Intelligence Agency. In 2016, it was renamed to the Special Activities Center, or SAC, but for the purpose of this video, we will focus on the former name. Although a lot is unknown, it is believed that the Special Activities Division was founded in 1957. The operatives from this unit only conduct highly covert and secret missions and operate out of one of two groups that the SAD is composed of. The SOG, or Special Operations Group, is the paramilitary arm of the unit. The PAG is the Political Action Group, and they carry out covert geopolitical actions. You won't see these operatives in any uniforms or anything that you can recognize them by. They operate in a world where standing out could be the difference between life and death. Although they are not a military unit, the SAD has some of the most highly specialized, trained, and versatile operatives that are capable of carrying out the most dangerous and sophisticated top-secret missions in the world. Their operatives are believed to be as skilled and capable as any Tier 1 unit with direct action capabilities, if not better. Let's have a look at this highly secret unit, their history, their training, and more. Let's start with the organization. As mentioned, the SAD is split up into two distinct units, the SOG and the PAG. The SOG is the department within the division that is responsible for operations that include high-threat military or covert operations with which the U.S. government does not wish to be overtly associated. As such, members of the unit do not carry any objectives or clothing that would associate them with the U.S. government. If they are compromised during a mission, the United States government may deny all knowledge. It is safe to say that they are thoroughly trained in interrogation resistance. When captured, these men are on their own. They are considered one of the most secretive special operation forces in the U.S. Their operatives are selected out of most of the Tier 1 special forces, but also from the Recon Marines, Green Berets, SEALs, and the 75th Ranger Regiment, to just name a few. SOG paramilitary officers account for most of the Distinguished Intelligence Cross and Intelligence Star recipients, which are both the highest honors awarded to CIA officers. Most of the stars you see on the memorial wall belong to these agents, indicating they've lost their lives while on active duty. The PAG is in charge of clandestine operations involving political influence, psychological operations, and economic conflict. Because of the fast advancement of technology, cyber warfare has been added to their objective. SAD tactical teams are also capable of conducting clandestine political operations while stationed in hostile and rugged environments. A big covert mission will typically include elements from several of these capabilities, as well as paramilitary activities. When overt military operations and/or diplomatic actions are not practical or publicly possible, SAD gives the President of the United States an alternative. Unlike other U.S. Special Mission Forces, SAD can be personally tasked by the President or the National Security Council at the President's direction. Most other Special Operations Group, such as Delta Force or the Navy Special Warfare Development Group, have far more operatives than the SOG. Within the division, there are 4 different branches, which span over the SOG and PAG. These are Ground Branch, Maritime Branch, Air Branch, and the Armor and Special Programs Branch. The SAD Ground Branch is responsible for all covert operations handled on the ground, as the name implies. They are considered experts in surveillance, field and tradecraft, small arms, CQB, hostage rescue, and have some of the most advanced driving skills. It is believed that often Delta Force members transition to the SAD Ground Branch. SAD Maritime Branch is responsible for specialized missions in and on water. This branch is believed to recruit in units like the SEALs or combat divers, logically. The SAD Maritime Branch are experts in covertly boarding ships, underwater demolition, diving, and other watercraft skills. SAD Air Branch is responsible for aviation activities, as the name suggests. This is probably one of the most unknown branches within the SAD. However, we can all assume that they are the elite of the elite when it comes to aviation and are likely very skilled pilots. The SAD Armor and Special Programs Branch is not like the other 3 branches. as the operatives in this unit do not engage in direct combat. These members are tasked with the development, testing, and covert collection of new personnel, armory, equipment, and transport. The Armor and Special Programs Department serves an important purpose, as the gathering of weapons and equipment must be obtained from clandestine sources abroad in order to have no connection to the U.S. government in the event an operative is captured. Let's look at what is known about their selection and training. As you can imagine, people from all over the Special Operations Forces community are already highly skilled and trained in their craft. But when applying or being chosen for the SAD, you undergo more physically demanding and specialized training in order to cut it as a paramilitary operations officer. Their training reportedly starts at a place being referred to as the Farm, which is thought to be Camp Peary in Virginia. They also train the personnel at The Point, a facility outside of Hertford, North Carolina. Their training is 18 months, and it is referred to as the Clandestine Service Trainee, or CST program. This is required to become a paramilitary operations officer and clandestine intelligence officer. It always involves an arms covert training course, together with specialized training specific to the branch of choice. What follows now is a glimpse of what their training could look like, but is of course highly speculative. They are trained to a high level of proficiency in the use and tactical employment of a very broad degree of modern weapon systems, explosive devices, and firearms. They must be comfortable with any kind of weapon and know in great detail everything about anything with regards to weapons. There is also believed to be a rigorous SERE course. This stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. This is detrimental in the life or death situations these operatives get into, probably numerous times in their careers. Hot wiring cars, tactical communication expertise, tracking, wilderness training, combat medical training, and being proficient in a foreign language are all part of the skill sets these agents possess. As you can imagine, being in the SAD is not for the faint of heart. We haven't even discussed high-altitude parachute insertion training, scuba diving, or crafting improvised explosives. Compared to these guys, James Bond and Jason Bourne look like rookies. All jokes aside, training and selection is a highly selective process that is very likely always subjected to change as the threats constantly evolve. Lastly, let's look a little closer at their operations. Human intelligence plays a big role in the work the operatives do. All of them are trained as case officers, meaning they can function as handlers for a worldwide network of spies. The Political Action Group within SAD conducts the deniable psychological operations, also known as black propaganda. That includes covert influence to affect political change in other countries as part of United States foreign policy. Covert intervention in foreign elections is the most significant form of the SAD political action. This involves financial support for favored candidates, media guidance, technical support for public relations, legal support and expertise, advertising campaigns, and other means of direct action. This, of course, not the direct action that the SOG units undertake. Policy decisions are influenced by agents, such as subverted officials of the country, to make decisions in their official capacity that are in favor of the U.S. foreign policy efforts. In addition, mechanisms for forming and developing opinions involve the covert use of propaganda. Propaganda includes leaflets, newspapers, magazines, books, radio, and television, all of which are geared to convey the U.S. message appropriate to the region. SAD's existence became better known during the start of Operation Freedom in 2001, when the SOG started hunting for the Al-Qaeda leaders. The SAD was presumably one of the first with operatives with boots on the ground, opening ways for the Special Forces units. They are often deployed in front of any other military branches to gather intelligence and facilitate a safe deployment for the teams that come after them. The SAD and its SOG units were also deployed prior to the invasion in Iraq in 2003 and trained, equipped, organized, and led the Kurdish Peshmerga forces to defeat the Iraqi army in northern Iraq. To conclude this video, one of the prominent missions of the SAD is the recruiting, training, and leading of indigenous forces in combat operations. The SAD, SOG, and its successors have been used when it was considered desirable to have plausible deniability about U.S. support. Unlike other special missions units, the SAD operatives combine special operations and clandestine intelligence capabilities in one individual. These individuals can operate in any environment, sea, air, or ground, with limited to no support. I completely understand why this highly secretive unit is thought to have less than 150 people, as this might be one of the toughest and demanding units with the highest exposure to life-threatening situations in the world. I hope you have learned something new today, and I hope that this video has given you a good look at one of the most secretive covert operations units in the world. Thank you all for watching, and if you like what we are doing here, consider subscribing to never miss a new video.